I don't think they are illegal. And the third point is, Peter said it is benefit to the employees in the company because it can train the employees in the company to develop the software. However, I think if we buy the software from another company, we can use this time to develop another software. So if we do these things, we can also train the employees in this company. And finally, Lynn has said that we can use the money to on some other things. And I want to say that if all of the employees in the company has been devoted in making this software, even though we have money, how can we make our employees in some other activities? So why don't we just use the time to develop the softwares? So I think these are our points.
And I just want to add something. You say you will save some money because you don't buy some software, but you have to train your employees plus that, and this will continually involve in a lot of money because you have to maintain the software and you have to train people how to use it, how to familiar with it, and all this, material will need some money else, actual money besides, build that.
Yes, not only the money, but also the time. If you hire a new employees, you need pay some time to train it, to train them, and let them know what the client needs.
And we don't have time.
Yeah. Well, I totally agree with Jimbo's first point that our ultimate goal should be to make the clients happy. So that's what our goal should be, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, we want to control the software not just for the sake of controlling. My point is, when we have total control on the software, let's say the requirement of our client changes, then just because we have so much control and so much knowledge about the software, we would be able to implement those changes very quickly, and that promptness would never come from a third-party vendor. They will always have to, it will be a trial and error process for them. They will always have to try new things, work around their way, how to do those changes. So I think in the long run it will always take a lot of time for them to implement those sort of changes. And secondly, you just said that that we can put some sort of clause that regarding sharing our sensitive information to the third party, and I know that when you have that legal obligation on some third party, I mean it's not always 100. You cannot be always 100% sure that third party will not breach that trust. I mean it's just an expectation. I mean, these sort of incidents have happened in past. So when a third-party vendor has breached that trust and have misused that sensitive information, I mean, in some cases it may happen. It has happened that the third-party vendor has outsourced their work to someone else. So we lose that sort of control. We can never be sure that the work is done by the third party or a vendor by himself. He may outsource it to someone else that we will never know. So in that way we are vulnerable in that way. So these are my concerns.
And also when you buy software, you buy something which is already there, which someone made to fit his or her own needs. In this case, we want to build. We build something based on our needs, based on what we want. Build something which we will be able to change without any restrictions from the owner or anything else.
We can use the time we saved to rebuild it to fit the client's needs.
I think time doesn't really matter. No matter how long it takes, as long as we will end up having quality product.
No, no. We need to have it by the end of the year.
Oh,
We have a time restriction. So time does matter. Very, very strict on the time.
I think the time of rebuild it is more or less than the time to build a whole system.
Yeah, because we just some part of it, not the
Yeah,
whole part.
yeah, I understand that time is very limited. I think what Fila is trying to tell us is that it may solve this this problem that is coming to us. I mean, this the problem we have at our hand right now, but in future, in long run, it may create it will be a problematic for us to control a third company, because we won't have that much control on their employees, on their processes, like we can control our own process, our own employees. So I'm talking about I'm talking about long run. I'm talking about 5 to 10 years down the future. So this by buying it solves our problem temporarily. We might deliver this software to client, and client will be happy. But what about future?
I know what you mean, but we are just a mobile marketing company, not a technology company. We don't need the high technology skills of our employees.
And you cannot ensure that all your employees are familiar with the software. I think just some of your employees, maybe technical employees, can know the specific the mechanism. But if you want to control software yourself, I mean in a long term, you have to all your employees be familiar with that software. But do you have that money and time? I mean, normally, basically in a company, just the technical group know the software, and other people just use it, and somebody will train the other people how to use it, the basic, the basic information. So if we buy a software from another company, I mean it's the same thing. We just teach our employee how to use it.
1 more minute to the end of our meeting.
I wanted to say that, but if we build something, then it means that our employee, they then develop a sense of ownership over that thing. And in case it develops any mechanical failures or something, we know how to fix it. We know how to add some extra features on that particular thing because it is ours. We know it in and out. And you also talked about the issue of building being more expensive. I think actually buying would be more expensive. Actually, our case study supports that it will be like 2 times the prices.
Yes.
And you also say that when you buy that particular thing, you would also want to add some certain features on that. Don't you think that will also waste a lot of money? Because we've already bought the product. Now we are also paying extra money to add some features to it. Don't you think that would be equal to, or even way more than the building?
Yeah, I know that. I agree with you. But I think the money we enrolled is less than you build it in-house. Yeah.
The money would be more if you
because the software is already existent, and they spend money. That the third party spend a large sum of money to build that, and the only thing we should do is only to adjust some part. And I think this the money we enrolled in adjusting is much less than you build it yourself.
But the buying is already expensive, and well, then spending extra money adjusting it again when we've already spent a lot of money buying that software.
But if
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but if you build it yourself, you have to continually involve some extra money to maintain it, right? And this is also
And
some money.
studies have proven that building it is cheaper than buying it. So you're gonna buy it and then add more money to the already expensive price you bought it.
Yeah, at first it may be cheap, but long term, you said that we may meet some changes and we want to change some part of it, and so we have